I just reached the first potentially super dangerous part of this hike. The Mount Yamnuska hike is located at the entrance to Canadian Rockies, and because of that, it's an extremely popular day hike, but had to be closed in recent years due to a significant number of serious injuries. Today, I'm going to take you to the most dangerous spots along the hike and show you why Mount Yamnuska could be considered the most dangerous hike in the Canadian Rockies. The trail starts pretty tame, gaining elevation quickly on some relatively cruisy trail, and comes out of the woods with some nice views of the prairies and the valley. This is the first of two places where a lot of people turn around. They get to these views, which are usually a little bit better. We're dealing with some wildfire smoke right now. They take it all in and then head back down to the parking lot. But we're gonna be continuing on. We're gonna be heading up there. This is the second spot where a lot of people turn around, because this is where the hands-on scrambling starts. There's a lot of spots on the trail where you have to be hands-on, a lot of scrambling locations. There's even a spot up ahead where there's chains that you have to use in order to traverse a cliff-like area. But while that's the scariest part of this entire trail for me, it's not the most dangerous part of the trail. It's not the spot where most people get injured or where the most rescues happen from. People get rescued from all over this mountain. There's tons of different obstacles, not only the scrambling areas as well as the cliffs. People get off trail all the time. They get down into that valley into a pretty crazy trail system, then they get lost and need to call in for rescue, as well as just slips and trips and falls due to how loose and difficult the trail is. At this change section, that is when my nerves start to get me. I've seen people get to this section and just break down into tears because it looks very scary. Like I said, it's not the most dangerous section of trail, but what gets me is that because I'm so scared of heights, my legs start to feel a little bit jelly. I stop being able to trust my body, and that's when I get scared. The likelihood of something happening is very low, but the consequences are quite great. If you fell down here, you'd be extremely injured, and there's a good chance that you could die. But time to get going, get on these chains, because there's some clouds rolling in, and we need to get to the most dangerous part of this trail before any sort of weather might hit us, because that would be no bueno. See the chain going across there. Not too bad, but if you do fall, especially on that section or that section, you're falling a good distance and then probably continue to tumble down to the valley bottom. Made it to the summit. Let's get down from here before this potential weather rolls in. So this is a scree slope right here, and there's two ways to get down it. Go around it or go down it. Scree slopes like this can be very dangerous. A lot of people get injured on them. This one is pretty good. It's a relatively easy scree slope to come down, but the one that we're going to be checking out in a second here is extremely dangerous, and it's where a lot of people get injured. And I'll tell you why once we get there. There's some thunder on the other side of that peak there. So we're going to try and get down the trail, get in the treed area down there as quickly as possible. Weather is a danger that just kind of compounds everything. And when you're in the mountains here, you kind of have no idea, especially during the hot summer months, July, August, you could have thunderstorms roll in really quickly. And it's happened to me on a mountain where I was stuck on a ridge. Thunderstorms started rolling in on me, and I could feel the electricity through the mountain. It was so intense that my arm actually went numb when I was touching the mountain. It was pretty crazy, very scary experience, and not something I want to have happen again if I can help it. Because Mount Yamnuska is not an easy hike, it could take you 4, 5, or even 6 hours to do the full hike, and you're in the alpine for about half of that. So if a thunderstorm rolls in and you're halfway through the alpine area, then it could take you a while to get to safety. Before we get to the most dangerous part of this hike, I want to thank Insta360 for sponsoring today's video. A lot of the shots that I've been getting on this hike, especially the ones that look super epic, have been shot with the Insta360 X3. The Insta360 allows me to get drone-like shots using this 3-meter long pole, but then also still get footage when I need both my hands free in order to scramble up rocks or do sections like those chains. I just stick the Insta360 on top of the pole like this, stick that in my backpack, and then I can get shots while still using my hands. Because of the 360 nature of the camera, you have lenses on both sides of the device. You don't need to worry about framing your shot. Basically, anywhere that you look is getting recorded with the camera. Pretty much every cool shot that you've seen in this video has been shot using the Insta360 X3. It's a staple when I'm going on ventures in order to get great shots without having to take a drone. Go check it out at links in the video description. I'll also include some links to my favorite Insta360's accessories down there with the Insta360 X3. One of the big dangers with this area doesn't have to do with hiking, it's rock climbing. A lot of people will climb the big front face, so we're right up on top of that. But people will climb from the bottom to the top, and people have had to get rescued off the mountain because they lost their route or just kind of got in over their head, and the helicopter has to come in, long line them out. It's pretty intense. But the most dangerous part of Mount Yamnuska and why they had to close this entire area for a year in order to try and make it safer are the scree slopes below the big face there. People would scree ski those just like we did up high there, but they'd start taking a tumble and get extremely injured, and a couple people have died on those slopes. So they're not a joke, and people kind of see other people doing it and then they try and go, but those scree slopes are a lot different than the ones that we saw up there. These scree slopes have much bigger rocks. They're not as loose. There's more big boulders kind of scattered throughout, and it's very easy to kind of hit one of those or lose your footing and then start tumbling down. Whereas at that other spot, it's a little bit less steep, but then also the scree is a lot finer and a lot easier to ski down. Scree is this loose rock that kind of comes off of the mountain, especially off of faces like that. As the wind and rain kind of erodes it, then you start to get these scree slopes down off the mountain. And some of them are really nice and some of them are not so nice. What they did in order to help make the area safer while they had that closure was they made a really nice groomed trail around the scree slopes. You don't need to go down over that direction anymore. You can take this nice groomed trail down and stay a lot safer. That lightning is coming in hard and fast. There's lightning strikes all in the valley here. So I'm gonna get off this mountain as quick as possible. If you wanna see the video and the trip where I did get stuck on the ridge in a thunderstorm, go check it out right up there. It was Northover Ridge. Super intense trip, and I'm starting to get flashbacks right now. So let's get out of here.